This past week, I had probably one of the best experiences I've had in a long time when it comes to tabletop gaming. I was invited down to Warlord Games to look at some of the new Konflikt 47 stuff, which absolutely blew my mind. Also in the same day, I filmed a bat rep with another YouTuber called Mordy and Glory. That bat rep is being edited right now. I'll put a little bit of the footage in the background so you can see some of the armies and stuff. I'm British Commonwealth. He's doing the Soviets, a lot of bears and stuff like that. It was an absolutely fantastic bat rep. It literally came down to the last turn, which was absolutely bloody insane. But in this video, I just want to sit down and talk about my experience with Warlord Games, some of the stuff that they showed us, talk about my experience there, because like I said, it was wild. It was amazing. Like, this is night and day from Games Workshop. Not like Games Workshop is so like closed down, no one's allowed to like peek through the windows. Warlord and their staff, they're so open. They want to talk about their games. They want to get you hyped about their products, and I was hyped. I went in there, I was like, oh my holy emperor, this was amazing. So let's jump in, let's have a little waffle, and let's just talk about Konflikt 47 and its future. Now, I just want to say right at the start of the video, if you're expecting to see brand new models in this video, pictures, videos, and stuff like that, it's not that kind of video, sadly. We weren't allowed to take any videos, any pictures, anything like that. Of course, most of this, if not all of this stuff that they talked about, is under lock and key, because there's going to be some absolute massive reveals all throughout this year for Konflikt 47. So the day started early for me. I was up at 4 a.m, had a shower, washed myself, make sure I was all prim and proper, put my shorts on as I always do, because of course I was filming the bat rep the same day, and I always put shorts on when I do gaming because it lets the air flow, as you probably all know. So drove all the way down from Nottingham to Manchester. It was an eventful little drive down there, right? Driving in the pitch black across the Woodhead is always an adventurous one. Got there for like 8 o'clock. I was in the car for like half an hour, listening to some audiobooks and stuff like that. Then one of the Warlord staff who knew me came over and said, "Hey Val, mate, how you doing? Mate, you don't have to sit in your car. Come in here. We'll get you signed in." By that time, Daka had arrived, one of the moderators on the channel, and another moderator called Woodim, who's really big into not just Konflikt 47, but boltaction himself. If I'm not mistaken, I'm probably going to butcher this. Sorry, Woodim. By the way, Woodim filmed all the bat rep and he will be editing it all. He is one of the main players for Team Wales, which is hilarious because I'm as much Welsh as this guy is, but that's how it works, okay? So he was there, me, Daka was there, we all went in, and we sat down with some of the big people a part of Warlord Games. And the first chap we sat down with was a guy called Jim Butler, who actually used to work at Games Workshop. I think he was there for like 10, 20 plus years, if I'm not mistaken. And his title, if I get this right, is the head of sales at Warlord Games. Sorry, Jim, if I butchered his title, but he is one of the big head honchos. Absolutely fantastic guy to meet. Really nice to talk to. Literally open about the product and what they want to achieve. And one of the big things like I got from Jim and what he was talking about is we are literally on the ground floor now of Konflikt 47. This is start of something big. And I'm not just saying this to try and lure you in. I can see it for myself. I'm not going to try and BS you or anything like that. I am so hyped. I'm so excited to be on the ground floor of this product, which I see in the next 5-10 years. It's going to be massive. The direction they're going into, the resources that they're putting into this, I really do think it's going to be absolutely massive. So to see it from the ground level right now and witness it eventually get bigger and bigger is absolutely fantastic. So Jim sat us down and he showed us a time scale really of what they want to do this year with like books that is going to be coming out. If I'm not mistaken, Warlord has already teased some of this with their newsletter as I'm recording this right now. I don't think the newsletter's gone out. If it has, I'll put some pictures up in the background and stuff if we can get them and put it out there. But what they really want to do, and this was spoken about actually there, like we got talking about like the Imperial Armor books. Remember the cool Imperial Armor books back in the day where, like Badab, for example, that was brought up. all these cool stories, the chapters, the theme of it. This is the stuff we still talk about today because those epic stories, the lore, the narrative was just so good. That's what they want to try and bring to Konflikt 47. Like these type of books that are filled full of these cool stories, characters that you can connect to, and that builds the world that they're doing at this moment in time. It's like all this was like absolutely music to my ears, and I thought it was fantastic. Now again, on the stuff that he showed us, because it was just like a graph of like, this is coming there, this army's getting something at this, this queue in 2026. Again, I can't go into specifics of what was shown off there and stuff like that, but I will say, as a British Commonwealth player, I'm very, very hyped. That's not breaking anything, right, Jim? I'm not saying anything. There's a lot of hype. There's a lot of stuff coming for every faction, by the way. Again, since I play British Commonwealth, that's what I was mainly focusing on. But there's a lot of stuff coming for each of the factions, which is going to be absolutely bloody wild. And one of the things that they said, of course, is plastic kits. And this is some of the feedback I've got from you chaps as well, is that a lot of people don't really want to invest into Konflikt 47 at this moment in time because of the lack of plastic, and that is something that they're really investing into now. They're really pumping money into getting brand new kits, that some are out, some are brand new, all redone in plastic, new plastic kits, just updated versions of their stuff, so it looks even better when you paint it and play with it on the tabletop. So that is a really, really good indication, firstly, where the game's going, is that the investment's there, they see where it is, and they want to take it in the right direction. Like everything, again, I was hearing was music to my ears. It sounds great, the future sounds great, and it was just getting me more and more hyped for everything. So after Jim showed us the roadmap, which again is amazing, and I think, by the way, Fester in Europe is the first big book out, which is, am I allowed to say this? I'm not too sure. I may get in trouble for this, but it's about Dresden and stuff like that, which again is absolutely incredible. If this is wrong, then Woodimp is going to come after me with a whole team of Warlord assassins, but I think they've already shown that off at this point. So after we saw the roadmap, Jim then took us upstairs to the model room that had some of the new models there. Like it's like a model slash photo room, where they get them all off the shelves and they take all the cool pictures and all the themes and they do all the Photoshop and make it all look cool and stuff like that. It was like one of those type of rooms, and he's shown us some of the new plastic models. And again, I can't talk what they were, but I'm telling you right now, it is getting bigger, it is getting cooler, it is getting the details on the models, right? I'm trying to get this across. The investment is going into this stuff. It really, really is. It is only going to get bigger from here on. Like, yes, some people saying it wasn't really that big of a launch. I think it was a massive launch personally, but again, that's my opinion. And I really think it is going to get bigger. The investment that they're showing is going to get much and much bigger. But then after we went in that room and we saw those new cool models, after that, they took us into another room and we got to meet one of the designers and ask a bunch of questions of him. And if I'm not mistaken, that chap's name was Dan. So Dan, again, excuse Dan if I've got your name wrong, I'm so sorry, there was just so much going on in the day. So Dan was fantastic to talk to. He was giving us all the insights into like designing plastic kits, and he was speaking about some of the new designs, and we'll get into something that Dan had done on his desk. Well, I can't talk about it, but Dan had an amazing desk. He had the best desk at Warlord. Now Dan is of course one of their senior, if not lead designers. Sorry Dan if I've got your position wrong. Again, long day. And again, he went into details of all the things that he's building and all the things that he likes and stuff like that. There was something that was funny, like basically he has like one day a week where he's literally allowed to go in and design anything he wants for Konflikt 47, and he's making some like amazing designs and stuff. And then of course then that goes to like through the process, like okay, that's being okayed, etc. So yeah, I mean, it was a great sit down with him, and actually on Dan's desk, because this was in like a separate room, and then he took us into like the design studio where like all the painters are, the sculptors are, and again this room is filled with models. For those people who've gone to Warlord Games before, it's the room where they take you in the tours, but of course this time around all the desks are full of all like new models and everything like that, because they're not expecting any tours or anything. And Dan's desk was just literally full of how can I explain it? It was full of the wonders of the world, right? as a British Commonwealth player, I was absolutely just, oh my holy emperor, this is going to be good. Like, again, other factions, you had some absolutely amazing designs on this desk. Yeah, it's Dan's wonderland of wondrous creations, I'm probably going to call it right now. But yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. Got there, got to speak to him, see all his stuff, pick his brain. Again, Jim, with the roadmap and stuff, that was great. And then after, like, we spoke to those chaps and everything like that, we went through, like, to the main shop. Mordian finally got here. Mordian was like an hour and a half late because he streams to, like, God knows in the morning of stuff. So we're all waiting on Mordian while all this is happening. Met Mordian, and then we drove down to a place called War Games Illustrated. Now, if you don't know what War Games Illustrated is, it's a big gaming magazine in the UK, and basically that's where we had the bat rep. They allowed us to use their premises to use it, so it was me, Mordian, and we jumped in there and we had the bat rep. I'm not going to go too much into the bat rep stuff. There was a representative from Warlord there who was helping us out, absolutely fantastic guy. This chap, I'm not sure if he wants me to say his name or not, so I'm just going to say Warlord representative, just in case, because I never asked him about, like, does he want to be, like, his name out there? But anyway, right, he's the one who's opening the new Warlord shop, which, again, we got talking to, and I'm going to do a big video about the Warlord shop. I've been inviting down to, like, a before-after type of video, because if you didn't know, Warlord Games are actually starting to put their shops on the high street now to see how they do. Again, investment, right? It's investment, dedication. They want to take this product bigger and further into the future. I'm not going to say it's going to be a 40k killer, because everyone says this, right? The only thing I think that can kill 40k or Games Workshop at this moment is Games Workshop itself. They're in a whole different ballpark. It's like World of Warcraft back in the day. You had all these attempts for a World of Warcraft killer. I never saw it like that. Just make another MMO and make it different. Make it fun, okay? You never got to compete with World of Warcraft. And I think this is the same instance with Warlord Games and Games Workshop. I want them to make the best product possible, and then hopefully we, the fans, will start pushing it forward then. We'll start taking it to the heights. And maybe one day it will get there, but I don't think the goal is to set out and say, okay, we're going to bring down Games Workshop. I think that's absolutely stupid. That's my own opinion. Anyway, but Warlord Games, they're definitely getting out there. Their investment's out there. They're going forward. We did the bat rep with Mordian, like I said. That was a fantastic day. We brought some of our martyrdom models out. I think wouldn't make kill me if I just a little peek. There we go. There we go. For people who don't know, I'm making my own board game called Martyrdom, and it's set in the First Crusade. Hopefully it takes off, then we can do Second, Third, all the other Crusades. We can do Northern Crusade and stuff like that. So I took these models down there to War Games Illustrated to try and get my foot in the door with them, and I got some, emails and some contacts and stuff like that for people at War Games Illustrated. So hopefully in the coming months you may see the game featured in that magazine and stuff like that. So yeah, a lot of big things happening, a lot of fun stuff. I just wanted to really sit down and talk about my day, really, because it was a great experience. I think you should really talk about the great things in life. I've always done that, right? If someone is doing something good, you should always talk about it. And the people over at Warlord Games, Jim, Dan, everyone else over there, they're doing absolutely fantastic stuff. Like, again, I'm not really going to comment on it too much, but the environment over there, it's good. It's great. Like, it's a place where if you went to Warlord Games, you can go in there and you can chat to people and they'll be real with you. I'm not sure if that comes across like nasty to GW. I'm not saying that at all, right? I'm just saying it doesn't feel corporate. I think that's the right word to use, where GW feels like a corporate entity, because it is. It's a £6.5 billion company, right? Where Warlord, it feels like that mom and pop shop that GW want to try and say they are. That's what Warlord Games is. And at this moment in time, I think they're absolutely smashing it out the park. And I can't wait to see what the future holds, not only for Konflikt 47, for boltaction, and they have plenty of other different games as well, like Pike and Shot, epic scale stuff. They do some fantastic models. Go and check out their website, Warlord Games. I'll include it in the link in the description of this video and stuff like that. I had a great day. It was absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to go back, meet all these people again, see where it takes us, and see even more new models. Hopefully next time I go, because I'm going to talk to Jim about this and some of the people there, I can go there and do a full video film tour. Again, maybe things have to be blurred out and stuff like that, but try and get as much footage as possible so you guys can experience it firsthand, what it's like visiting it and what it looks like inside and how the production is and all the cool stuff. Anyway, that's enough yapping from me. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. I will say this right at the end of the video. Expect a lot of plastic releases this year for Konflikt 47. Jim said at least 12. At least 12 plastic kits this year if, you know, everything goes as intended. I'm allowed to say that, at least. I'm just not allowed to say what the kits are. But if you know, you know. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. I'm not breaking anything, right? I'm not doing anything bad. I'm hyped. You should be hyped if you're a Konflikt 47 player. If you're not a Konflikt 47 player, just look at it. Just look at it. Read some lore about it, right? It is going to become a big game. I personally think that. I think it really is going to be an epic thing. Anyway, thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, evening, night, where you're around the world. And bye-bye.